talking shit, yeah, they bread stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like...
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. Your host, Mad Matty, along with Crazy Chris, back at it again. Welcome to 2022, where we have a great year of fights already lining up. We're just going to get right into it. First one that we got set up that we're very interested in, Derrick Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa, set for UFC 271 in Houston. It's an extremely evenly matched fight. Very dangerous fighters. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's every MMA fighter, MMA fans' wet dream right here. This is two guys with stones for hands. I mean, I can't wait for this fight. I believe it's in Houston, like you said, right? UFC 271. These guys will be headlining. And for Tai Tuivasa, what a big opportunity step up in competition that he has here. And for Derrick Lewis, he just captured the crown for the most knockouts in all weight divisions, in all weight classes across UFC history. So for him, what a great accomplishment in his last fight. Both of these guys are coming off of knockout wins, and I just can't wait for this fight personally. Yeah,
I'm really excited as well. Statistically, both guys are 4-1 in their last 5 fights. Both guys are 7-3 in their last 10 fights, and both guys are coming off of knockout victories. Derrick Lewis slept Chris Daukaus in the first round, and Tuivasa slept Augusto Sakai in the second round. And combined, I believe they have around 31 TKO KOs. That's a lot of knockout power. It's a lot of dynamite in the hands. What's interesting to me about this fight is Derrick Lewis specifically said he does not like to fight in his hometown, and Dana White said, fuck that, you're fighting in your hometown again. So the last time we saw Derrick Lewis fight in Houston, he fought Cyril Gane, where he was completely neutralized and just got outworked. And I don't know if he froze up. I mean, he said the pressure got to him. To me, I don't like that. I think that's a cop-out. Maybe the pressure did get to you, but that's like being in the playoffs in the NFL and saying, we don't want home field advantage. We're too uncomfortable at home. It doesn't make sense to me. Every fighter I've ever met loves to fight in front of their home. I mean, there is pressure, but they love to put on a show for their home crowd.
Well, let's put it this way, right? Like, I've fought a bunch of times at home and away, and I always liked fighting away because the pressure, you don't have pressure. You're going in there to kill or be killed. When you're fighting at your home, you feel like you're protecting something, and that if you lose, that all of a sudden your town's getting raided, and all of a sudden you lose all your gold, right? Well, for Derrick Lewis, I feel like he's been in high profile fights and has won. So I don't think that it was so much the high profile fight. I think he was fighting first of all, a very good tactician in Cyril Gane, and a really bad matchup for him. But we've seen him grow, right? He comes back from those. And again, his last performance was a first round KO. So we've seen Derrick Lewis in these situations and bounce back before. And I'm very interested. I like the UFC doing this. I want them to keep putting him in the pot because they need to know, right? Is Derrick Lewis a title contender, or is this guy a gatekeeper? And I think a test with a young guy like Tai Tuivasa on a 3-fight winning streak, it's gonna put a test out there for him. And especially, Tai's not an easy fight, man. That guy is a tough as nails, durable fighter. So it's gonna be very entertaining, and it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out with the better game plan.
My thing about this fight exactly is who's going to have the better game plan. And from what I've seen over the past 5 fights, Derrick Lewis is extremely flat-footed, and he takes forever to pull the trigger. And in some fights, doesn't even pull the trigger. He did not let his hands go against Cyril Gane at all. It takes one strike from you to change the entire fight, and you held back. To me, I don't like that. I mean, trust me, I love Derrick Lewis. I'm a huge fan. But in this fight, I think Tai Tuivasa is going to be more elusive, and he's going to put combinations together, not just wait on one. He doesn't need one punch. I've seen this guy get hurt and land a knockout blow against, what's his name, Greg Hardy? Is that his name, Greg Hardy?
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy hurt him bad. He was on his back foot and slept him.
What a great performance.
I don't think Derrick Lewis is going to, he starts so slow that I think Tuivasa is going to establish his striking first. And he has knockout power, and he throws in combinations. The only thing I don't like about Tuivasa is that he'll put himself in serious trouble, or he's willing to go into the fire to land his shots, which I respect, but could be a big problem against a guy like Derrick Lewis who waits on stuff like that. So that's where it becomes very interesting.
This is an interesting matchup, right? Are we going to get Derrick Lewis and Francis Ngannou, or are we going to get a slugfest? I'm going to go on opposite tables with you. I think Derrick Lewis is coming in off a great performance. I think he knows the pressure. He's back to back on fights. He's coming off of a good performance, his last fight. And I think he's, like you said, he's a lot more patient. He's a tactician. He waits a lot more. Tai Tuivasa is young, hungry, and doesn't care. He's willing to get hit with one to give one. And it puts him in a bad situation with the guy who has the most KOs. So I think it's going to be a first round KO. Derrick Lewis finally getting that W back in Houston.
And I mean, it could definitely go that way. And I'm not, it's like I said, this is very fine line for me because I love Derrick Lewis, but my mind is telling me
I love both of these guys. First of all,
I love both of them.
I love both.
I'm a big fan of both of these guys.
I love the shoey. I'm a huge fan of the shoey. But I've been watching Derrick Lewis since 2007. So I will never go against that guy. That guy is my guy. And Tai Tuivasa is a young cat. I think he has a bright future, possible champ. But I think Derrick Lewis is just too, like I said, fine wine. He's too old. He's too technical, and I think he's that patient uppercut got him a knockout against Curtis Blade. You know what I mean?
I think that Tuivasa is going to be too quick for him, and he hits pretty fucking hard. And I think Tuivasa is going to get a second round KO. I think he's going to put Derrick Lewis down because Derrick Lewis is going to be too patient. This is just me. If I was a betting man, I'm putting my money on Tuivasa because Bam Bam is going to drop the fucking hammer on Derrick Lewis, I think, because he's going to feel the pressure in Houston.
You think
again.
He's going to have the shoey at the end of the night?
Bro, I think that the pressure of being in Houston is going to get to him again, and I think that Tuivasa is going to be too elusive. You don't know. He might even be able to eat the power of Lewis. We haven't seen that yet, but I don't think Lewis is going to land clean on him, and I think Tuivasa is going to put combos together that he is not going to be able to handle. And it showed in the past that he can't handle when guys are putting him on his back foot and landing in and out. I think Tuivasa has been getting better and better, and I think that he's going to get a W. That's my opinion.
Look, I'm going to go with the guy who has Knockout King on his chest tattooed. I'm going to go with the guy who has the most knockouts in UFC history. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to go pick Derrick Lewis because you know what? He is the hometown guy. And I do think he really wants that hometown W. And I'm taking Derrick Lewis first round KO.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens in that one. And like I said, it's a hard fight to go either way on. I mean, I'm a big fan of both, and both guys do have KO capability. I'm not saying that you're wrong at all because that totally could happen. It could be a first punch knockout.
It's a toss up for sure.
But either way, we'll see what happens. Moving on to the next big fight that was announced. Finally, the rematch, UFC 272, March 5th at the T-Mobile Arena. Aljamain, Aljo Sterling, the champion, taking on Petr Yan, the interim champion. So we're going to get a unification of the belts, and finally, Aljo is ready. I mean, honestly, this guy's 5-0 in his last 5 fights, Aljo. Won the belt by DQ. He's 8-2 in his last 10. Petr Yan is 4-1 in his last 5. Won the interim belt against Sandhagen in an absolute great fight. 9-1 in his last 10. Lost the belt by DQ. Everybody knows what happened. The knee that ended the night, that kind of put a shun on his light there. This fight's very interesting. What are your thoughts on it?
Honestly, I don't think anybody's look, this fight does not interest me at all. I think Aljo's a clown. I think he's lost a lot of hardcore fans. When he's coming onto his social media now, he's like, hey, it's your boy, the champ with the belt on. I don't respect any of that. Look, we could have had John Jones lose to
Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith, Lionheart. He could have done the same thing to John Jones. And you know what? He didn't. And he said he doesn't respect anybody else that would. And when Aljo won the belt, I called my coach and said, hey, what'd you think? He said, Chris, if you did that, I would have told you not to come back to the gym. So if you're a hardcore fan, I mean, we all know what's going to happen. Petr Yan is not going to get touched by anybody in this weight division. He's beat the best of the best. He's beat Jose Aldo, Corey Sandhagen. TJ Dillashaw may be the only guy that can get up there with him in striking. But other than that, I don't see any really a competitive fight here. I see Petr Yan going in there, beating Aljo for 5-5s and beating him bell to bell pretty convincing.
Yeah, Aljo really lost my respect. Look, we both fought in amateur MMA. I've been illegally struck in the head with a knee as well, and I got up and finished the fucking fight. I didn't win, but I didn't cop out like That's some bitch ass shit
The
to me.
knee that you got caught with in an amateur fight, guys, just so you know, was a knee against the cage with your face looking down. Nothing
To the
compared
side
to
of
what
the head.
Aljo. Nothing
Yeah.
compared to what Aljo got hit with, and
Aljo
that
could have
still finished the fight.
like I said, didn't win though. But regardless, I didn't pull the bitch
Yeah,
move
but-
and be like, oh my god, I'm so injured, I can't fight. No, dude. If you're a fighter, you're gonna fight. I mean, look, it's a title fight. I understand. You took the easy route.
Funny. I think it's funny, honestly. It's hilarious, right? You lose the belt by an illegal knee, and the guy puts on a little bit of a show, and he walks like, "Oh, I don't want the belt." And then as soon as you take him to the back, he starts taking pictures and throwing it on his shoulder.
Yeah, dude.
We all knew what happened here.
It's a little ridiculous when you're crying like, "Oh, this is not the way I wanted to be the champ," but then you just fully embrace being the champ. I mean, I'm sure his team is telling him, "You are the champ. You know, you won the belt. He illegally struck you. Whatever." The question is, did you get any better? Did you get any better though? Have you learned from your last fight? In his mind, he really thought he was on his way to a win. If that went to decision, easily lose. UD, every round you lost. You didn't land any takedowns. You weren't landing any strikes.
I give Aljo the first, maybe the second, but clearly Peter was on his way to a W.
I don't even know if I can give him that. I mean, it was more even in those first 2 rounds, but as the fight continued, you clearly saw who was the more skilled fighter.
I could probably give him the first round, right? You could probably give Aljo the first round, but if you're basing their last performances against each other, I mean, and this is the other thing. This is the serious thing. Peter went out there and captured the interim belt against Corey Sandhagen just so Aljo could go and get an injury finished out with, I believe he had neck surgery or something.
I respect that he keeps fighting. I mean, Aljo did beat Sandhagen like quickly.
But my thing is, Peter didn't need to be put in danger against a dangerous guy, possibly lose that fight and lose his chance to fight Aljo.
And that's why I respect Yan, is because he's so invested that he is the champion, that he went and took on contenders, because he's like, this guy's not even a real champ. He said that often. This guy's not even the real champ. I'm still the champ. I fucked up, and I'm just going to keep taking on the top competition, because who's going to fight this guy after he wins the belt again? In my mind, I agree with you. I think this is going to be he's going to finish this fight. I think he's pissed off that he has had to wait maybe 2 years now to get his belt back. I mean, Aljo doesn't look like he showed. I've seen some of his training footage, and I know they don't show everything in that, but you look like you're doing the same old bullshit that you tried to do in that fight. I know it works against other guys, but guys like Yan, who are so skilled and so technical, it's not going to work. The fancy takedowns and the weird grappling moves and the funky style that he brings, it doesn't work against a guy who literally just sends him down the pipe and lands. I think he's going to get a knockout victory, probably 3rd round. Unless this is an absolute drag you to the mat grappling match, which we saw him attempt in the first fight, and it just didn't work out. Just didn't work out at all. So I don't see it happening again.
Fighting, I've been in the gym a lot with smaller guys, and Petr Yan is the type of guy that puts you in quicksand and lets you just drown yourself. He's gonna let Aljo come out, do whatever Aljo wants to do, and as soon as he gets a rhythm, he's gonna start beating him from bell to bell. I just see maybe Aljo winning 1 round out of this next fight, but I am telling you right now, there's nobody at 135 taking that belt off of Peter, and that is the true champion in my opinion, and he's gonna recapture his title that he never should have lost.
I agree. I think we'll have to see what happens. We'll see if Aljo got any better, but I think he's been riding his own little hype train, and I think he's gonna get humbled real quick, real soon in March. So that's our opinion on that. Obviously, hit us in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Last fight that we have coming up. It's set for April 9th. Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. This fight is going to be really exciting. It's going to be a good test for Chimaev, and it's going to show if Gilbert Burns still has the fire, still has the gas tank.
What rank is Gilbert?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm sure it's the top 10, but Khamzat's definitely going to get a test with a big name, and we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, he's 6'2" versus a 5'10" Gilbert Burns. Burns showed complete dominance in his last fight against Stephen Thompson, and he has fought the top elite dudes.
I believe Burns is still ranked number 4, if I'm not mistaken.
He's high up there. I mean, they're definitely giving him a big name. And this is going to show if Chimaev's ready for the top 10.
I don't even know if is Chimaev even in the rankings? Is he even in the top 15?
I don't think so. He hasn't fought anybody completely notable. His biggest fight so far was against the Leech, and he dominated that fight.
That fight was sick, man, and he proved to everybody what an animal. And this guy belongs living, 500 years ago. He belongs taking guys through the woods and taking over cities and towns and villages. This guy's a complete savage. Look, this is how I think it's gonna go down. Gilbert's gonna come out. He's going to look like he's deer in the headlights. He's going to get cracked with a big right hand. He's going to shoot and get put into a guillotine, and I think he's going to go to sleep. That's exactly how I think it's going to go down.
Really? Well, I don't know. It depends. But Gilbert Burns has knockout power, and he showed that he has really good grappling. I think he's going to land bombs on Chimaev and actually flip the switch and have Chimaev looking like a deer in the headlights, looking like, damn, I don't know if I should be in the top 10 yet, and he might get humbled in this fight. I'm taking Gilbert Burns by a second round knockout.
Look, Matt, I just look, dude, I'm not saying that cannot happen. Gilbert Burns is a tough guy, and he's extremely experienced. But brother, let me tell you something. When you look at Khamzat, he looks like a man who's killed people with his bare hands. All right. This guy is gonna go in there. He's gonna completely put the pressure on Gilbert Burns. I'm telling you, he's gonna have Gilbert looking like deer that Gilbert's gonna, as the fight gets built up, Gilbert's gonna slowly but surely start feeling smaller and smaller and smaller. Gilbert's a good guy. He's a family man. He has kids. He has a beautiful wife, beautiful family he takes care of. Khamzat has none of that. This guy wants to go in there and hurt you. I'm telling you right now, Khamzat's gonna go in there first round, and he is going to either knock out Gilbert or he's gonna put him to sleep.
We'll see. I mean, if we have Gilbert Burns who fought Kamaru Usman, if he's bringing that style into the fight, then yeah, it's going to be a fucking knockout by a jab possibly. He might just dominate him. But I think that Gilbert, with all the experience he has and realizing that, he puts pressure on himself, and you got to remember, Gilbert Burns has knockout capability. I think he's going to land a bomb on Chimaev early. And if he does that, it's going to be a game changer. If he doesn't do that, it could be completely the other way, where Chimaev does what he always does and just dominates the fight. But to me, I'm going with the experience. I'm going with the capability that he has of being able to grapple with this guy and knock him out. I think he's going to land some good shots on him. It just depends what style he brings in here and what mindset he comes into the fight with.
I hate this sounds so disrespectful, but I think Gilbert has no chance in this fight at all. I honestly don't. I think he has zero.
So so basically you're saying Chimaev is the rising star that he's built up to be, and he's just going to run through this. This is let's get you a big name and let's get you in the top 10 already.
Look, this is Khamzat on a Sunday barbecuing. This is literally, that's all it is for him. This is a grappling match at the beach. He's going to just destroy Gilbert Burns. Look, I hate to sound so disrespectful, but there are levels to this. And look, the Leech, that guy is fucking huge and very strong. Okay. And Khamzat made him look like a little boy. And I'm telling you right now, Gilbert is not any stronger than he is. He's not any. You're talking about a guy. First of all, Gilbert used to fight at 155. You're talking about a guy who constantly bounces up to 185 and knocks out people up there. All right. Khamzat's going to walk in there and he's going to do whatever he wants to Gilbert Burns.
Yeah,
I'm going to put my money on it.
Going through the track record, I mean, I was at when Daniel Cormier fought Stipe 1, and I got to see Gilbert Burns fight live against Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker knocked him out at 155, like unconscious. So if that's the Gilbert Burns we're going to see, then yes, it's going to be a very long, very fast night.
MMA math never makes sense. Matches and styles completely make fights. And I want to say that first and foremost. And the other thing with this channel, I just want you guys to know, I never want to come off disrespectful. I respect every fighter that goes out there.
We're just being blunt. It's just how it is.
It takes huge fucking balls to walk in there and get punched in your face in front of millions and thousands of people. You know what I mean? So I have nothing but respect.
No disrespect, but at the end of the day, when you're betting on these fights, you need to be serious. Like, when you're putting money down. When
I look at these fights as if I was personally going to go to war, right? If I'm personally going to go to war, who am I picking to take on my team? And look, I'm telling you right now, I'm going with on this particular fight on April 9th. Khamzat's going to be the bigger, better man. And I think that there's nothing that anybody's going to do to change that.
Personally, I think Gilbert Burns is going to win, but let's assume that Chimaev just destroys him. Does that automatically give him a title shot? What do you think?
Yes, it does.
So in your mind, the UFC is basically saying, all right, Khamzat, you go in there and you destroy this contender. We're going to put you right in there. Because
Well, what they do with Adesanya?
yeah, pretty much the same thing.
What they do with Anderson Silva?
Yeah.
Any big star you have, look, I'm telling you right now, they look at these guys like killers, man. This guy's gonna come in here. Look at Kamaru Usman, right? He took the long route there, and now he's doing laps around people. He's not gonna be there forever. If you want to have a real fight and a real contender and a way to build pay-per-view on Kamaru Usman, you need to build a contender. There's no better way to do that than giving somebody like a Gilbert Burns to a Khamzat. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, and I think they are building Khamzat. We'll have to see April 9th. To me, that's a very interesting fight. It just depends what mindset.
It's a
Gilbert
great
brings in.
matchup.
It's pretty
Great
good
matchup.
To me. The best one that we talked about was obviously Derrick Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. Well, anyway, we're gonna end the show, end this episode real quick. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about these fights, who you guys have winning the fights. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit up our sponsor, Lightspeed Processing, for all of your processing needs. Use Mad Matty promo code to get 20% off equipment.
We also have a new sponsor, 4 Pillars Research. If you're a law firm in the area of Texas and you need some injury insurance, go ahead and check out 4 Pillars Research. They do all the research for you, hands-free information right to your email.
Yeah, don't forget to hit them up. We'll have the links in the description below. Yeah, hit us with a like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you guys want to see us do, what you want to see us talk about. If there's anything that interests you guys, and we love to argue with you guys. So hit us up.
Let us know what you think about all 3 fights, guys. We appreciate your time as always. See you next episode.
Peace out.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like